In this video, we at iDoc Europe show you how to replace the display of your Samsung Galaxy S20 yourself. The repair is a bit more difficult as the back cover is heavily glued and you have to remove many parts from the device. You should plan about 60 to 90 minutes. For the repair, we recommend the following tools. High-quality tools and original Samsung spare parts are available at www.idoc.eu. All links to the spare part and tools can be found in the video description. And now we wish you a lot of fun with the repair. Switch off the device at the beginning to avoid short circuits during the repair. If the screen can no longer be used due to damage, then disconnecting the battery in one of the next steps will switch off the device. The Galaxy S20 is opened via the heavily glued back cover. But be careful, after a repair the phone is basically no longer waterproof. You can loosen the back cover by heating the glue and moving a flat tool between back cover and frame along the entire edge. Tools such as the iPlastix or the iFlex are particularly suitable for opening. The iFlex is particularly flexible, has rounded edges and is very thin but still sturdy. You also need several flat picks and a suction cup to remove the back cover. Use a heat gun or an ordinary hairdryer and gradually heat up the entire edge of the back cover. Heat the phone evenly for about 1 or 2 minutes, and be careful not to overheat it at any particular area, especially in the middle, where the battery is located. Place the suction cup on the bottom of the device and pull on it to create a small gap between the back cover and the frame. Then try to get into the gap with your tool. With the iFlex this is a bit easier than with the iPlastix, because it is made of metal and a bit thinner. However, with the iFlex you can also scratch the frame of your device more easily. Therefore, we recommend that you continue with a plastic tool as soon as possible. To do this, slide the iPlastix under the iFlex into the gap. Then you can pull out the iFlex. Then heat up again the place where you continue to work on and slide your tool further along the edge. Take care not to scratch the back cover or the frame with the edges of the tool. To prevent the glue from reconnecting, you can use several picks and insert them into the part that has already been loosened. Then go along the entire frame and gradually loosen the glue. Do this several times if necessary and heat up again and again in between. Do not push the tool too far into the device. Be especially careful around the cameras. It can take half an hour to remove the back cover. Give yourself a little more time and work carefully to avoid accidentally damaging the fragile glass back cover. Here you can see the glue. It is mainly on the whole edge. Now remove the back cover and put it aside. Then remove all Phillips screws of equal length from the charging coil and lay them down together. We recommend our iDoc magnetic mat in order not to lose or mix up screws during the repair. The coil is slightly glued to the bottom of the speaker. Loosen the glue and then take out the cover that is hooked into the top. Now the battery connector is uncovered and you can disconnect it. Always use a plastic tool like a spudger for this. When you disconnect connectors, never lever in places where there are small components on the board to avoid damaging them. Remove the speaker in the next step. Loosen the Phillips screws of the same length first. Then lift the speaker up and take it out. Disconnect the cables that run over the battery and then remove them. Separate the connectors carefully with the spudger and take out the two upper cables. Also disconnect the display cable. The battery is heavily glued in place, so you should use hot air again to loosen the glue. But never heat the battery directly, always heat it from below over the display. Then fold the display flex cable to the side and fix it if necessary so that it is not in the way when you remove the battery. For this step we recommend tools like the iSesamo or the battery spudger. Do not use tools with sharp or pointed metal edges to avoid damaging the battery. Lever with the tool around the battery to gradually loosen the glue. Again, take your time and warm up more often and evenly. Do not bend the battery and make sure that you do not puncture the battery or damage its casing with any tools. If the glue is slightly loose, you can lift the battery. Then you can also use a wide and flat tool such as the iPlastix to slide under the battery bit by bit. When the glue is loose, lift the battery and take it out of the device. Here you can see that the glue is on the complete bottom of the battery. Another cover is placed above the main board. Loosen the screws and then remove the cover. Now disconnect the different connectors from the main board. Take care again not to damage any components on the board. Lever carefully and then bend the contacts slightly to the side. Now remove the SIM holder. You can use a SIM tool or a paper clip for this. Then pull out the SIM holder. Loosen the screws that hold the board and the camera is in place. Then lift carefully on one side and take out the mainboard with both hands. Make sure that no cables or connectors get caught. Be especially careful when handling the main board, as it cannot be repaired so easily. In the lower part of the device there is a smaller board with the USB charging socket. Loosen the screws and then carefully pull the whole component out of the frame at the bottom. The vibration motor is glued on again. Use hot air to loosen it and then lever the motor out with a flat tool like tweezers. Do not lever at the golden contacts, because they can easily be bent. Now loosen the glued earpiece with a flat tool. It is also possible that there is already an earpiece in your spare part. Then you don't have to take it over and you can skip this step. Next to the earpiece there is a sensor. Loosen the thin cable with a steel spatula and then lever the sensor out of its opening. You will find the right spare part and tools for this repair in our online shop at iDoc.eu. Now take the new display and compare it with the old one. If necessary, you have to take over seals or covers. But with our original Samsung spare part, everything is already included. Remove all foils, which for example protect the opening for the sensors. Here in the video you can see the old display again, because the display of our device was still functional and therefore did not need to be replaced. But the procedure is the same as with a new display. Insert the sensor and press it slightly until it is properly seated. Then place the earpiece in its opening. If there is no glue on the new display, you will have to take the black glue from the defective display. Insert the vibration motor in its place and press it down gently. Make sure that there is still some glue on the bottom side. Place the board with the USB connector at an angle at the bottom of the device and slide it into the frame. Make sure that it is correctly seated before you screw it on. Bend all flex cables a little bit to the side and then put the mainboard into the device. Position it at the top and push it a little bit into the unit. Then guide the board downwards until it is seated correctly everywhere. Be careful not to pinch any cables under the board. If the main board is flush and flat in the device, you can now screw it down. Put the SIM holder back in place. If it is stuck, do not push it in with force, but check whether the main board is not yet correctly seated. Then plug in all connectors again. Position the connectors over their sockets and press them down gently. The connectors should snap directly into place. If they do not fit properly, loosen them again and reposition them. Reinstall the top cover over the motherboard. Place it at an angle and then press it down. When it is snapped in on all sides, you can screw it in place. Now put the battery back in its place. Check the glue on the underside of the battery. Make sure that the glue does not wrinkle, otherwise it could push the battery upwards. If the new display has adhesive surfaces, you should remove all old adhesive from the battery. Then insert the battery into the device. Make sure that it has some space on all sides and does not press against the frame anywhere. Then reinstall the flexible cables over the battery. The cables are labeled, the side where main is written should point upwards. Then put the speaker back in place, press it firmly and screw it on. Make sure it is hooked in at the bottom. Now reconnect the battery. Position the contact over its socket and push it gently down. Then put the metal cover with the charging coil on. Hook it in at the top and then screw it on. Now test your phone before you glue the back cover on. Turn on the device and open the phone app. Here you enter *#0* and a test menu opens. In the test menu you can test the display for pixel errors and check the touchscreen. You can also check all other functions such as the camera, the speaker or the proximity sensor. If everything is okay, you can close your smartphone finally. Before you place the back cover on the frame, check the adhesive. It should be evenly distributed on the edge so that the back cover is flush with the case. Remove excess adhesive if necessary. If you like, you can also remove the old adhesive and use a new adhesive frame. You can see it here in the video using another Galaxy model. But the procedure is the same for the S20. If you use new adhesive, first remove all old adhesive from the back cover and frame. Usually most of the glue remains on the back cover. You can warm it up again a little bit to make it easier to remove. Then gradually remove all glue residues. Be careful not to scratch the inside of the back cover. Do not scrape away the glue with tweezers or any other metal tool. You can also use a solvent like isopropanol and a cloth to wipe off the last bits of glue. Then take the new adhesive frame and place it in the unit to see how it is aligned correctly. We have also linked the new adhesive frame in the info box. Then remove the first protective film and apply the adhesive to the device frame. Do not press it down yet, but check that it is properly aligned on all sides. The adhesive should not overlap at any point. Then press the adhesive firmly all around so that it bonds properly to the frame. You can also use a spudger to help you do this, and press the glue firmly all around the frame. Loosen the second layer and make sure that the glue does not come off the frame. Use a tool to help you press the glue down in such places. Position the back cover in the middle of the device and place it slowly. Do not press it down until it is in the right position. Heat the back cover with hot air so that the adhesive bonds again. Please note, however, that the smartphone is no longer 100% waterproof after the repair. As long as the glue cools down, you can press the back cover glass firmly with your fingers or weigh it down slightly. Your phone is fixed now and we hope it was fun for you. If you liked the video, why don't you leave a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. High-quality tools, spare parts and accessories are available in our store. See you next time.